So much was made a year ago about this transition from the bullpen as a closer to a starting pitcher. What do you take out of last season that you're bringing into this season that you think can be helpful?
Yeah, it was, transition I think was, it was invigorating for me. I mean, it was a challenge that, I knew I wanted to take on, and just having the opportunity again to start and, just the demands that it was going to bring was something that was just I really enjoyed. And I think, having that foundation of what I was able to do last year and just the confidence that, I can make 32 starts, I think goes a long way this year. And hopefully I can trust that and kind of go out, each time knowing that, I'm going to recover from this. I can go out and leave it all out there and really be my best self each time.
We met last year and we talked about the kick change. The kick change became a celebrity. It became all over social media. There was a ton of talk about it. A lot of guys picked it up. You're a true student of the game. You're always tweaking as a pitcher does, messing with things. Your arm feels different. Was there any adjustments from that kick change where we met here last year throughout the season, and where is that in your repertoire this season?
Yeah, and that was one of the things going into last year that I knew would play a big part of me being able to make the transition. And it was in a good spot. I came in to camp really hot with it and had some early success with it, which helped the confidence. And it's the change up, but it still has some kind of splitters kind of characteristics. And I think with that, the consistency was kind of hard to nail sometimes. And so there was a constant evolution of kind of some pitch, some tweaks of pressure and this and that I think I learned that may help it more, and looking forward just to kind of carry that into this year.
In your repertoire this year, did you add anything this offseason that you're bringing in that's brand new, or is it just kind of minor tweaks to where you are? Because you did have really, really good success from being a reliever and a high leverage reliever to starting as a different animal. Are there tweaks that you made this offseason in the repertoire that we're going to bring into the season that might be brand new, or you don't have to reveal that because that's the hitter type thing?
I mean, it won't be a secret for very long, I think. So, obviously one thing I started doing at the end of the year last year was moving on the rubber, which
we noticed that you went from side to side. What was behind that?
I have more of an east-west arsenal, so a lot of kind of side-to-side movement, and the thought was just if I can take advantage of that a little bit more with moving my angle from using the rubber, so it's just a little different window and just taking advantage of where those windows are coming from and where the ball's moving, and just trying to maximize that. So I think something that felt good last year, I'll continue to do that. Kind of changed my cutter grip at the very end of last year that it felt a lot better. That I think that could be a pitch that plays better. The cutter was something I wish I had, at times last year, and it really wasn't too consistent. And so really kind of dialing in that pitch is something, and then, adding in, a little curveball. I used to throw a curveball back in my minor league days, and even, with Pittsburgh as a reliever, the sweeper eventually kind of overtook that now, and kind of added, back in, because I do think a slower breaking ball could help get some strikes early in counts, and the sweeper was and it wasn't in the zone as much as I like, and I think the curveball can help with that.
Clay, you talked about a tweak that you made to your cutter grip, something to find more consistency. Can you show us the grip that you had before and the minor tweak that you made?
Definitely, yeah. Now, I've always tried to throw the cutter more of like an offset four seam, kind of across the seams here, and I feel like I never really had a ton of leverage on the ball. Either it was like too much gyro, too much on the side of the ball, or it was kind of over the top pulled and it was just too far into lefties. And so instead of kind of going across the four seams, I kind of went more on the two seams, which I'm more comfortable with, and just went off the edge here. So it's not too far off of my sinker grip, and I think maybe that's why there's a little bit more comfort there, and I'm just able to stay kind of through the ball more. The velocity's been up on it. I'm still getting some of the glove side movement with it. So, it's a pitch I'm excited about this year.